JD Talking Sports. Today I'm going to be live with Michigan's a familiar. He's a family member. Yes, he is. I've known him for a couple years, and he's done some extraordinary stuff. Here he is. He's waved at me. I've invited him. Let's see if yes. And I'm going to let him tell his story because I won't do it any justice at all. How you doing, Rob? Good to see you. And I figured, you know what? Let him tell his tale because I can't tell it. And I've always been amazed. Anybody who does, I'm a workout guy. I like to work out. I overwork out. I overexert myself. And years ago, we went. Oh, and there he is. How's it going, Jeff?
Hey, good, Jonathan. How are you doing?
Oh man, let me tell you, I'm so excited. So I was just giving you some props. You just finished in the last. How many weeks ago did you finish?
I finished on October 29th.
How long so you did the Continental Divide?
Yep, the Continental Divide Trail. I started in Canada at the U.S.-Canadian border.
Okay.
Right outside of Glacier National Park, and I hiked all the way to the U.S.-Mexico border.
So I looked it up. 3,028 miles? I mean, that's what it says. How long did it take you to do it? They said the average is, let me see here, 6 months. And you did it in?
I did it in 4 months and 15 days, 4.5 months.
Oh, my God. And I know we talked about this. When did you get into all this stuff? Because was it something you did growing up, college, all that, high school?
Yeah, so I started backpacking when I was a kid. I was in Boy Scouts.
Okay.
So we did a bunch of backpacking then. And I really, grew up, in Pennsylvania. I would go to the Appalachian Trail and hike with the Boy Scouts. And then when I got old enough, got a driver's license, I'd go out there with my friends, and I just found a love for being out there in the woods.
Okay.
So as you know, in 2019, I did the Appalachian Trail. I actually met you while I was hiking that.
Yes, I did. Yes.
And yeah, the love just continued.
Now, how many years had you been planning to do that? Was it something like was it a spur of the moment? I mean, so you were done with how many, you went to Vodtech, go Hokies. Did you, how many years did you plan to do? It's been something you've been planning for a while, the Appalachian Trail and stuff. What?
Well, the AT, yeah, it was something I definitely was thinking about doing for a long time. I had aspirations, when I was like maybe 12 years old to do it.
Wow. Okay.
But it didn't really become a reality until maybe my sophomore year of college. I actually delayed my college graduation by a semester so that I could graduate in the winter term and start hiking in the spring term.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I saved up money from a bunch of internships and stuff like that. And thankfully, I actually got a job offer to start after I started hiking the Appalachian Trail.
Always
so
helps.
Basically,
right.
I worked it into my life.
So you go on the trail. Now you went solo on the trail, right? I mean, did you start the trail with anybody? Or you did it by yourself? AT.
So the AT, yeah. So the Appalachian Trail, I definitely started solo, but especially on the Appalachian Trail, not so much on the Continental Divide Trail, but on the Appalachian Trail, there's a lot of people that do it. So I had about 2,000 people, there was probably about 2,000 people that did the Appalachian Trail my year. So I saw, maybe probably 300-400 different hikers along my journey on the Appalachian Trail.
So only 2,000 people did it 2,000 people total did it in 2019. That completed it, you would say?
I don't know the exact numbers. Completion would definitely be less than 2,000, but yeah, probably. The AT has about a 25% success rate.
Now, only 25%. Wow. Oh, wow.
People that started.
Oh, that started.
The Continental Divide Trail actually surprisingly has a higher success rate because you have more experienced people doing the Continental Divide Trail, and there's also less people that do it. So the people that do the Continental Divide Trail have 90% of them have done another through hike before, and a lot more people make it.
And as a not, why is it called a through trail? Why is that called? Where do they get that term from? Because I was kind of curious.
So it comes from like through hike. So a through hike is you're hiking the entire trail in its entirety.
Okay.
A section hike would be a shorter portion of the trail.
Okay.
So a section hike could be, an overnight trip. It could be a weekend trip, or it could be, what we call a lash, which is a long ass section hike. And there's people that are doing the trail in chunks, but they're doing it in like 1,000-mile chunks.
Oh, just 1,000 miles. I mean, come on. Now, did you train before this? I mean, how do you prepare to do the AT? Like, that was your first big. I mean, that's a huge. I mean, it says here 20, but it's more than 20. It's what does it say? 2,190 miles plus. So it's really like 2,200. And you did it in 132 days. So you did it in. What did you do? You did it in, and they said the average person took 5 to 7 months, and you did it under 4. I mean, four and change. Were you training before? That's what I was curious about. How did you prepare yourself for the AT?
So I just tried to be in good general physical shape. I did a lot of hiking in college, and I did the AT right after college. So, I had decent hiking shape, but the problem is you can't prepare really for something of that nature. So you do a lot of on-trail training. So, I started off on the AT, especially, I started off only doing like 8 to 12 mile days.
Okay.
And then I worked up and did bigger and bigger miles as I went.
What now
on the CDT? I did like a half marathon just to be in good physical shape before the trail. Was running a lot. But for the most part, it was the same thing. I started off slow on the CDT, but I was a little more experienced, so I kind of pushed my body a little bit harder in the beginning, and I got up to like 20-mile days within the first like 7 days of being out there.
How much weight is in your backpack? Because you have to have supplies plus your a tent, right? All that's on you throughout the.
Yep.
So how much weight are you carrying on you?
Yeah, so there's what we call base weight, which is basically all of our gear.
Okay.
And then there's our full pack weight, which is base weight plus food and water.
Okay.
So my base weight is about 14 pounds.
Oh my God, dude.
And that's, my tent, my backpack, my sleeping bag, my sleeping pad, my cooking system, water purification, med kit, and extra clothing. And my food and water, it depends. Sometimes I carried a liter and sometimes I carried 3 liters. Sometimes I had hardly any food on me, and sometimes I had 7 days worth of food on me.
How come?
That fluctuated between 20 and 35 pounds.
Wow. And so I learned all this because of you guys. You had like food, like dehydrated food, you prepared food packets. There was places you stopped to pick up food and everything. So there's a whole system. Like you have to plan the whole thing out, and then, right? And also you have to get, what is it? Not certificates. What do you have to get? You would get for each section of it. You had to have what's the word? My English is going today. You had permits, right? So you had to.
So the Appalachian Trail is less logistically challenging than the Continental Divide Trail that I just did.
Right.
The Continental Divide Trail is, it's slightly easier, not much easier physically than the Appalachian Trail, surprisingly. But logistically,
why
and
is that?
mentally is far more challenging.
Wait, so